me, 1.5. Is there anyone here to speak to the council this evening? Okay. Did that really turn to page 2 already? It did. That brings us to our first item on the agenda, and that is a recognition of our outgoing council member, Tim Roper. Change stinks. And
it happens.
And it happens. It's part of life, and it's part of elections, and it's
one constant.
We have winners and losers, and or winners and those that didn't win. But no matter how we look at that, it is a rough one to lose a very long time council member and friend. And we know you're not gone for good. We know you'll stay involved and be active. So, but you will definitely be missed, Tim.
Thank you.
We'll have a little bit of a get together next week. And, but for now,
looking forward to it.
For now, let's cue the video. Councilmember, the impact you have made on this city is beyond measure, and will show for decades to come. That video alone shows the lives that you've touched as you've done this, whether that be through Open Doors, the Youth Commission, the Planning Commission, this council. You have truly made an impact. So thank you for the time that you put into serving. And you've dedicated to the city, and we would like to present you with a gift.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, and a certificate.
Get a certificate. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Anybody else want to make him feel?
You've been such an inspiration to help me when I was first learning, and so I really appreciate all that you've done. I've known you for years, even before then, and so you will be missed, and I will still call you and text you questions, so you'll be in my life still, but thank you for all that you've done.
We didn't even bring in the pictures of the fire district. that could have taken another whole video.
It's taken a long time to get through that.
So. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Okay, Council, we've got item number 3, which is to consider approval of ordinance 2025-26, amending Title 8, Public Ways and Property, Sheffield City Code, and to add Chapter 7.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Good evening. As you recall, we talked about this a couple weeks ago in our work session, and this is a new addition to Title 8 and Chapter 7 for prohibited camping in public property. And as we talked about that, we've seen an increase in this throughout the city. But one of the key things I want to reiterate again tonight is the purpose of this is to have lawful and humane enforcement of the ordinance, with a priority for protection of our public safety and health throughout the city, and treating all individuals with with dignity, fairness, and respect, and then have a consistent with constitutional rights and directed at conduct and not the personal status of those in our city that are experiencing homelessness. So as you recall, this ordinance allows the police department or designee of the city to enforce this, and we would follow state statute related to collecting that property and also releasing that property. And a main key component of this as well is enforcement, as we give reasonable notice to remove the property, and along with that, we follow up with resources that we could provide to those individuals that we come in contact with. We hope we don't have to enforce this, but it's probably the inevitable that we will at least encounter this occasionally here in the city. So I'm happy to answer any other questions that you have that we discussed previously a couple weeks ago.
Council, any questions for Chief? We did go over this thoroughly in our work session. Okay.
Thank you.
Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Your Honor, I move to approve ordinance 2025-26, authorizing amendment to Title 8, Public Ways and Property, to add Chapter 7, prohibit camping on public property, and authorize your signature to any necessary documents.
Second.
Who got that? Okay. We have a motion and a second. Councilmember Thompson?
Aye.
Councilmember Peterson?
Aye.
Councilmember Ratchford?
Aye.
Councilmember Worth?
Aye.
Councilmember Roper?
Aye.
Okay, that is unanimous. It brings us to our communication items. It has been, it's been a couple of really busy weeks. I am really, really, really happy to be home. Our meeting yesterday in D.C. and speaking to the press and then speaking to the whole group of policymakers on housing shows me that we still don't have any answers. And that any answers we put in right now to resolve housing are, they'll have some impact, but there is no silver bullet to this thing, and everyone wants to think that there is. The president is pushing for a 50-year mortgage. I'll keep my personal feelings on that one off of this one, but if that's the only answer we can come up with, we have a problem. And it's the problems are going to be solved here, and the things that we do as a city. And that was the one thing that came out of these meetings, was that it's not a state control. It's not something the Fed will solve. It is not something the state will solve. It is something that we who are closest to the problem and have the answers. We're the ones that will have the ability to at least have an impact on what happens. And we've done that. We did that in our work session this evening. And when we're looking at ownership and allowing housing to be built in quality housing that still promotes home ownership, it was fantastic. It's on us. And then, of course, the week before that, people have asked me again why I attend the Mayors Against Anti-Semitism group from the Combat Anti-Semitism movement. And if you'd heard the mayor both of New York, Eric Adams, and the mayor of New Orleans speak, you understand that this isn't an anti-Semitism thing. It's just the face of it. It's a hatred thing, and it is everywhere. It's a race thing. It's just evil, and it starts everywhere. And we may not have that that huge Jewish population in Clearfield, though they are here. We do have a pretty solid group of Jewish people in our city. They go to church in Layton or they go to church in Ogden, but they do live here. But it's what it represents, and to hear a neo-Nazi, former neo-Nazi, who now treats violence, who treats problems with kids, talk about what he has seen and what they continue to see that seem minor. And he talked about a kid who was putting swastikas on his notebook at school. Just had swastikas on it. Had no real idea what it meant. And then somebody said something to him while he was there. And this is a picked on kid. This is not the popular kid in school. This is that kid who just doesn't do well. And the teacher said something. And it gave him the ability to see the anger that it caused in somebody else. And so that fueled it a little bit. Somebody said Heil Hitler to him when they saw his notebook. And he thought that was, he didn't even know what it meant. But he put it out online. Somewhere in his social media, he put it and ended up with over 200,000 hits. And all of a sudden, you empowered a young man and validated him for the first time in his life. And he went down a rabbit hole and will never come back. That's the simpleness of what we're doing, and that's how quick hatred becomes just an absolutely terrible thing. And that is it's why I've pushed the ordinances we have in the city. It's why because I want people to know they're welcome here and that we don't discriminate here, that we love people in this city, and we are a wonderfully diverse community, and we welcome everyone here. And so, wonderful to attend. It's nice when somebody else pays for it. We get to go to a really nice event and see protesters out, and I was really happy for the police force that was escorting us everywhere we went. But good couple of weeks. It's really busy. And tomorrow we have a meeting with Northrop Grumman. We're touring Northrop Grumman's facility at Freeport. Freeport. And then we'll be bringing them back. A lot of the legislature and county officials are coming in as well. And we're coming back here for lunch. And then we have lunch with the mayor tomorrow, right after that. So. Double lunch. Yeah, double lunch. All righty, that's what I got. Councilmember Peterson. Oh, and since we won't see each other, we'll see each other next week, but officially to everybody that we won't see, Merry Christmas.
Enjoyed having a chance to attend NLC, going back a couple of weeks, and it was great to be able to show off the city and look forward to Tennessee and be able to see what other communities do. And I think this is the time I brought back the most information as far as things that were really relevant, and I'm excited for our city. Had a chance to be up on base for Thanksgiving, which was great to do that with the airmen. We'll be there this Saturday. So a huge thank you to our military community. Again, holidays away from family, I can only imagine, but we appreciate having you here to take care of, of this community. Tim's not getting off the hook that easy. I was planning for this. Of all of the memories, there were 3 that have stood out over the last thing. Tim and I's tenure started within a year of each other, and we both came up through Planning Commission. So we have been walking into this building, for 10, 15 years, easy, doing that. But there were 3 I wanted to just briefly share. One of them was during a previous election cycle. There was an issue that came up, and it's one of those properties that becomes an issue every election year. And the group text came out from Tim to myself and a couple other candidates that there was an issue with a piece of property, but I liked what his approach was, and it was rather than wait for someone to do it. There's a role for city, but then there's also a role of just jumping in and doing it. And Tim led the charge on that. And I was looking at pictures of just standing there and doing something, and that's one of the things that I learned from him. You can just jump in and do it. Like, you don't have to wait for a government or a committee to do it. Like, you can just go do it. Another one, as I came up over the bridge from Center Street, saw this beautiful fire station here, and every bit of that will remind me of Tim. Tim took the helm of the fire district just as the world shut down and had to navigate being a chairman while everybody is trying to figure out if we can lick people or not, and the answer was no. In the middle of that, there was tons of turmoil at the district, trying to figure out a global pandemic, and then how to build a facility that had long outlived its usefulness, its seismic capability, and the needs of being able to take on an entirely new part of the district with the paramedics. And at the end of that, we went from trying to retrofit and lipstick up a pig to being able to go out and get financing seconds, it felt like, before interest rates took off. And the ability to have that building right there was because of the work that Tim put in during that 48-hour, I keep saying 48, the 2 years that he served in that capacity. And we were able to pull bonds and get started on that. And as I came up over there and saw the jellyfish lights that you told me to wait for that are up there, our ability not only to take care of our community, to house the paramedics, but also to have a space for women who continue to enter our ranks was in large part shaped by your helm. And the last one was at Open Doors, as that continues to be such an integral part of our community, as Tim had stepped in and has been working with them to be able to go through major transitions for Open Doors, and how often he advocates for them, for food, for donations, and for the work that they do and making sure that people in their community know about the resources there, the needs that are there, and helping them as they navigate next chapters on a lot of changeover in the last few years. And above all else, Tim is the biggest champion I know for our businesses and for getting things done. And as I sat at NLC and looked at how businesses will integrate and how governments will integrate with AI, I thought there's a guy who's been in front of it for an entire couple of years saying, guys, for the love, there's a robot that can do this for you. So for all of that, for the marks seen and unseen and the things that we will see down the road and see your fingerprints on it, my gratitude.
Thank you.
I'm not following that. I think this is, man. Nothing to report.
Councilmember Ashford.
The North Davis Fire District is working on the trainings for the upcoming season, where to go, when to go, and what's most cost effective. So that's the most recent update. And then there is a school that is not in Clearfield, but it is raising funds for Airman's Attic, and they are doing almost a weekly, if not daily, thing for the next couple of weeks to raise some funds, and the kids' goal is $5,000. So that's going to be fantastic. I'm going to get to see a couple of the events, and then on the 18th is when they present the check. The cookie drive went really well at the base. I didn't get the count yet. Did you get the count from Joy? No. But there was a lot of fun. I saw a ton of cookies come to the hotel. I personally made some. I messed some up, but I've learned how to make cookies, so I will make some in the future. That's all I have.
Okay. Councilmember Worth.
Just a reminder that the Mosquito Abatement District's tax hearing for the proposed increase is this Thursday at 7 o'clock at the district's office in Kaysville. Mayor, you said something that really stuck with me. There's really no top-down approach to the most integral problems that we face in our community, whether that's the issue of hate or the issue of attainability of the American dream. And that starts with our intentionality of land use, or our directive to get more people to home ownership, and also our ability to advocate and impact the economic and environmental conditions here locally. And I think that bears witness in, and I'm tying this into Tim's 9 years of service to this community, because the things that he made decisions on and advocated for years and years and years ago are finally now bearing the fruit of that labor of love, whether it's the housing that has been constructed since he came onto the council, whether it's public facilities, or every life that's been touched through Open Doors and their work that they do. So I think public service is kind of like dog years, in that each year is 7 years. So thank you for your 63 years of service.
Right.
People have felt it for a short amount of time, and it'll reverberate for decades. So I appreciate you.
Luckily, the gray hair hasn't set in completely yet, so thank you to everyone. I love all of you. I really appreciate my time here. I will fight back the tears, but I have thoughts on my mind. But as I wrap up my time on the city council, my mind goes back to the first night I walked into this room. It was the Christmas tree lighting, and I got appointed to the council. And that was a shocker to me. I didn't think I was going to navigate through 8 or 9 other candidates that were going for this position. But when my name was read, it was a true honor, because that was the night of my grandmother's viewing. And my mom told me to come. I wasn't going to do it, but she said, your grandma would want you here. And luckily it turned out for the good. But I decided that night that if I was going to do this, I was going to give it everything I had. And I really tried to do that. I showed up. I came prepared. I took calls from residents even when they were upset. I supported events, and I helped make hard decisions, even when they weren't exactly what I wanted. I wanted the city to be successful. I stood behind, and I still stand behind, the redevelopment of State Street and of moving forward with form-based code. I knew that that was going to revitalize this community, and we needed it. But I did back the businesses, and I still do that, and I will always support our business community. They deserve our support, and we need to support those that we always ask to support us. I often say we always want the small businesses to sponsor our Little League teams and do everything else to our charities, but they're barely keeping their lights on many nights. My 2 terms here have been full of memorable experiences, but one of the greatest honors that has been given to me was being welcomed into the Brotherhood of the North Davis Fire District. Chief B. Kraft became one of my closest friends, and him and I both went through some hard times. There was multiple times I had that man on my front steps, giving him a pep talk of the great things that we were going to do in the fire district. And I will always drive past Station 42 with pride. That is going to serve our community for a long time. But we did go through some tough challenges, but it taught me a lot, and I'm grateful for that opportunity. I want to thank our police department. Thank you, Chief Bennett. Our city only works when our residents feel safe, and you guys make that possible. And to the staff of Clearfield City, thank you. JJ, your integrity shows in the way the entire city operates. It is clear in your team and in the culture here and in how you lead. I want to thank past council members who have helped shape me, people like Bruce Young, Kent Bush, Fern Phipps, and even some of the old hands like Kurt Oda, Jim Barlow, Catherine Murray, and Mike LeBaron, people I went and sought counsel from as I served in this position to know what I was doing. I do want to give a special thank you to Councilmember Peterson. You have been one of my strongest allies. I've appreciated our calls, the times we both needed a vent, or the times that we had to work through ideas and concerns together. You helped me really more than you know. To Mayor Shepherd, thank you for your leadership. We haven't always agreed, but you played a major role in helping me grow as a leader. You gave me opportunities to step up and also gave me room to make mistakes and learn from them. One of my most meaningful moments was walking through Arlington Cemetery with you and hearing your counsel. Our conversation that day has stayed with me, and it taught me to stay close to God and to take better care of my wife. That walk all the way to the Capitol is something I'll always remember. So thank you for everything. You'll always be a friend, and you'll always be a giant in my life. I would be remiss if I didn't thank my God for giving me the strength and wisdom to serve. I credit so much of that strength to the relationships I've built with our faith community. God has become an even greater part of my life during these years, and I pray that God will continue to be with His council and with our community. Last, I want to thank my family. They weren't able to be here. So many other things that we have going on during this busy time of year. But they have supported me through all of this. My kids grew up during these years. I was 39 when I came into office, and my kids were just still little. To my wife, she's amazing. These were some of the hardest years. I think while I was chair of the fire district, she was pretty close to divorcing me, but I was gone a lot. But I thank her for standing by me. She talked me off the ledge a lot. Serving on the Clearfield City Council has been one of the greatest honors of my life, and I hope I've shown consistency, commitment, and I really love this community. And while this chapter's closing, it's not the end. It's definitely not the end of my service or my involvement in Clearfield City. I have lived here for 23 years. This is my home. I'm not leaving it. And I'm not just passing through Clearfield. This is where I will be until I leave this earth. And I will continue to keep a close eye on what goes on. And who knows what's next for me. But I just want to tell everyone to say thank you. Thank you to Clearfield for trusting me, and thank you for letting me serve.
Thank you, Tim. We love you. JJ, I dare you to top that one.
I know. Carice was lamenting following Nika. This is a special moment, and I'm going to try not to ruin it. I wanted to thank you, Councilmember Roper, for serving so many years with very admirable honor and integrity. You've, on behalf of staff, thank you. You've always been a strong supporter of our needs as those who are here day to day providing the various services on the council's behalf and at your direction. And we've always been able to count on your support for what we've needed. So thank you very much. And I'll cherish the years that I've been able to work alongside you. It's been awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nancy?
Well, we don't have any meetings the rest of the month. So, but I did want to remind you of your special event next Tuesday at Manuel's at 6 in the cantina. Remind you to, if you're coming to the holiday party, you need to pay before December 31st, I think, to get the $20 a person price. And the oath of office ceremony will be Monday, January 5th at 6 p.m. We'll have dinner afterwards. The invitations will go out this week. So just wanted to make you aware of those events.
Thank you. Any other staff reports? Chandra?
I just wanted to remind you all that we're doing a Ways of Giving social media post this week. So I would love if you send me all the things you know going on, the drives of the Airman's Attic. I'd love to see it. So thank you.
Thank you. And Tim, thank you for taking care of the Christmas tree lighting this last
It was
week.
fun. My kids had a blast.
I appreciate you filling in for me for the first time that I've ever missed that.
My son, though, thought he was going to have to come every night to light the Christmas tree.
Oh, that's priceless.
Yeah, I did tell him, no, that's not the case.
And I'd like to think I was done traveling for the year. I do have one more trip. Next Monday and Tuesday, I'm taking my wife to Nashville to see For King and Country for her birthday. So, and literally, we are flying in that night, eating dinner, seeing a show, flying back the next morning so that we can make it for Tim's dinner. So pray that there's no snow. All right. That is all we have for this evening, and entertain a motion to adjourn in this meeting and reconvene in our work session. Oh, I apologize. And reconvene in our CDRA meeting.
One last thing for me.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, we needed a motion first, so.
Yeah.
So moved. Second.
Okay. We have a whole bunch of motions and seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
All right. Welcome to CDRA meeting. This will be a brief one. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome to CDRA meeting. We will